Alright, first off, we'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, abundance to the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways doing this work in all sincerity and truth. This is Brother Iroam. I'm with James Jamaica Camp, James Intellect once more, and this is going to be a second installment on the series Spiritual Athletes, right? And basically this aspect of this chapter in the lesson is going to be on discipline, right? Because as spiritual athletes, as men in the word, we have to be disciplined, right? And another word for discipline is temperance, right? Self-control, right? But being disciplined is a form, as we say, it's a form of or being a athlete or being a spiritual man. It's all about ethics, morals, right? So part of being disciplined is like eating right, going out on time. I would say eating, I mean like eating the spiritual food, right? But also taking care of our physical bodies to the best of our ability as well, right? Eating right, going to camp on time, constantly following the schedule at a time, like doing lessons, there are many aspects to it, abstaining, not committing adultery, abstain from certain things, and basically walk the path. But being disciplined is not easy, because even the word definition of the word discipline is it's training, right? So in other words, in order to be disciplined, you have to train, right? I'm constantly training, or you're constantly trained by constantly staying in the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. And pray and fast and beg so that you're molded into that or be given that those characteristics, putting on the light of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, being that spiritual man, letting the spirit lead, right? So with that, we just are going a couple definitions and see how it goes, right? It's a discipline from Merriam-Webster Dictionary, right? In the full definition section, definition 3 says a field of study, right? Field of study. And we never plan to look into this word, but let's take a quick look. Right, so as we say, it's a part of training, right? Study, right? So can we just look on this word? It says the activity or process of learning about something by reading, memorizing facts, attending school. So in a sense, is like school, right? This is an area of learning taught in a school. Well, you don't have to be school, but we just limit it to an area of learning, because I don't know what is play around with them words for kind of throw off people at that. It says something that a person studies or gives attention to. So in the truth, to be a spiritual man, you're a spiritual athlete, you have to give attendance to the word, right? Training, building up of the spirit, right? And learning how to make your spirit rule, learning how to mortify your members, right? So we're gonna go back to the word discipline, right? And definition number 4 says as a matter of 5, it says control gained by enforcing obedience or order. Now, how you gain control of your body, or how you gain your spirit the lead way, by enforcing obedience or order to what? The scripture. But the 4th definition are the one we really want to focus on, which says training that corrects, molds, or perfects the mental faculties or moral character, right? So we are trained to correct and mold and perfect our ways, right? It says the mental faculties are moral character. So when it will be discipline, is basically you're training the spirit, building, giving the spirit strength over your body, right? Being more logical, more than being controlled by desires. Instead of being controlled by the flesh, which is about desire, and be controlled by the spirit, which is about logic and what is right, what is about moral things, honorable things, right? I just take a small look at the word training as well. As I say, we never plan for this focus on just this, but spirit will lead you to go that way, so I'm not really fight, right? It says train an orderly succession. It says a series of parts or elements that together constitute a system for producing a result, right? And especially for carry on a process, right? So in order to train, you have to do a series of things to get a desired result. So if the desired result is to get a perfect spirit, then you have to be trained in the ways and morals of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? Based on the laws, based on read the Old Testament and see the whole moral behind everything, yo. So it's all based upon training the spirit. It's about being disciplined, being having control, as we said one time again at the beginning of the lesson. All about giving your spirit control over the body, right? Being spiritually perfect, right? That is what being a spiritual athlete is all about. Training the spirit to be perfect, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It says training discipline from the freedictionary.com. It says training expected to produce a specific character or pattern of behavior. So what kind of character we are try produce? A righteous character, right? And what type of what pattern of behavior we are try get? To basically in other ways, stone a faggot, kill an adulterer, follow the laws to the best ability. Basically, as you say, as the scripture say, we rehearse the righteous act. Another word for rehearse, as a matter of fact, we just get that word right away, yo. Because the scriptures tell you, rehearse, right? The word rehearse, to prepare for it says to direct a group of people. So yeah, we're going to look back on the word rehearse, right, from the etymology and the dictionary. To give an account of, to go over again, repeat. So we basically a rehearsal. That a part of we training, we rehearse, right? It says training, discipline from Free Dictionary once more. It says training expected to produce a specific character or pattern of behavior, especially training that produces moral or mental improvement, right? So you're always going at that. You go back to self-control and all of that, right? So I look up the word discipline from the etymology online dictionary. It says penitential chastisement, punishment, discipline, physical punishment, teaching, suffering, martyrdom, right? And directly from Latin, disciplina, instruction giving, teaching, learning, knowledge, right? So basically we are trying to be disciplined in other ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It says also object of instruction, knowledge, science, military discipline. From discipulus, disciple, right? So the word discipline go back even to the word disciple, right? And it says go down, so before we go to the word disciple, it says sense of treatment that corrects or punish, right? So when I punish, when I be a disciple, when I train, you get punished when you go off. And the reason when I get punished, I say you don't do it again, right? So if you ever watch some so-called some martial arts movie where they say every time them get the form wrong, the teacher will like lick them on it, and the reason why them lick them on it, and so each time when them do that, them try not to surpass the border or do it wrong. Them try to get it right every time because them know so every time if them do it wrong, them will get licked again. So that's the whole purpose of punishment, to keep you from going up. That's why when in a sense I can say the stakes concerning the law was the best of everything, yo. Because nothing wrong to give the best to the law. You say, oh, you forget outside of the tithes and offering, forget the best of the first fruits and everything. When you go off, you have to give a good calf, one that is unblemished, yo, the best of the best. So the reason why I make the stakes be high in that regard, as so if we try to keep you from going off, because everybody want the best for themselves. So we know, so when you go off, you have to give up your best. So if you prevent yourself from doing that, you stay on track as much as possible, right? That's the whole purpose of the laws. But the wicked Israelites from back then, they just sin and just say, look here, we already do the sin and just give up a cow or give up a this or give up a that. They never say the whole essence behind it all, right? They never see the whole purpose behind it. Them just because them are there be carnal, right? So I look up the word disciple, because as we say, it also going at the whole fact say correct, right? So we are correct. As a matter of fact, I read back the one from Miriam Webster. Last that one. It's like I read the one from Prediction, and it says training expected to produce a specific character or pattern of behavior. The first one says training to correct, mold, or perfect the mental faculties, right? So that's the whole purpose for correct and punish. Now a disciple, now it says Old English disciple, biblical borrowing from Latin discipulus, pupil, student, follower, right? So if you're a disciple, you're a follower. That's why he's a follower if you're a disciple, a student, and also a sheep follower. So my question to all who preach the word is, are you a disciple of the Lord? Are you a sheep of the Lord? Because a sheep follow him shepherd, follow the guide of the shepherd. And if you're a disciple, that means you follow the teachings and learnings from whosoever you learn from. If you learn from Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, are you a disciple of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai? Right? So to be a disciple is to follow, and that's why you have to be guided by the scriptures, yo, and not vain philosophy or you can't follow men, but you have to follow the scriptures, right? And part of the scriptures is submitting to your elders, right? For all for the righteous elders, right? The sincere elders, but we feed the flock like the elders from GMS, right? Now it says said to be from the seer to learn, right? And when I look up the word learn, it means to follow or to walk. From pi root, to take, to accept. And then it goes into the word decent, right? It says proper to one station or rank, tasteful, becoming seemingly fit, proper, desire, to be fitting or suitable. So one was spirit to be suitable to Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, one was spirit to be suitable to the ways of the scriptures, right? So this is why for me discipline, you have to train, you have to constantly go through the scriptures. You say abide in me and I in you. That's how you have to constantly in the word and basically try to rehearse the righteous acts and follow this to the best of your abilities. That's how we're supposed to do. And even that root word desire, the same root word for the word discern, which means to separate. Right? Now remember if we didn't want to break down upon that, but we have a couple things in the making, Lord willing. So if we don't do it, probably do it. If we do it already, we might do it again. Or if we don't do it, then Lord willing come in our future video. Right? It says to appear, to seem, to think, to accept. To from Latin, dakar, to teach. So you have to constantly train so you can be fit. You have to be fit and suitable for the Lord's purpose, which is to be elect, to be a judge of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, to be of the house of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. You have to follow him rules and laws as guidance. So that's the whole that's the whole way there, and true. We have mold ourselves through the scriptures, right? So with that, we just read two scripture. It says, this is Matthew 10 verse 24. It says, disciple is not given above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. Right? And another thing is, a servant also follows his Lord, follow his Lord's command. So even being a servant is also being a disciple. Right? And I'm gonna look up the word disciple in the Greek. It's from Matthias or Matthias, to learn, pupil, disciple. A learner, pupil, disciple. I'm going to look up the root of that. It's matano, to learn, to be appraised. Now, if I do appraisal, basically it's like you grade somebody or you examine them, right? Or to examine a thing. A word with appraise, a word synonymous with appraise is examine, right? To increase one's knowledge, to be increased in knowledge, to hear, be informed of what? The prophecies, be informed of the laws, being informed in the ways of the scriptures, right? To learn, definition C, to learn by use and practice, right? That's why I say meat belong to them that are of strong age, who by the use of their senses, exercise to discern both good and evil, right? It says to be in the habit of, accustomed to. So we're supposed to be in habit of the scriptures, be in habit or accustomed to the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, meaning going out on the highways and byways in the public and preach as the customs of the prophets, right? If you follow the laws to your best of your ability, because the laws is set up for ignorant sin. If you read the book of Leviticus, it tells you say, that are the reason why the laws were there. Now if you sin presumptuously and just give up on cow or something like that, yo, I forgot, and that is what grace is about. To catch you up on your shortcomings, not so you can sin willfully. So and the scripture tells you the law is spiritual. So all of them things are spiritual things, to be in the habit, yo, and to be in the habit of righteousness. That's why we continue. We're in a habit of putting up shows, we're in a habit of going out for the highways and byways, we're in a habit to try to perfect ourselves, we're in a habit to try being closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because in truth and in fact, that are the heritage from Abraham, Isaac and Jacob to be close to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua through faith. That's the whole purpose of everything, yo. I'm gonna look up the word temperate. I'm going to this word first, but slip me. It's 1 Corinthians 9 verse 25. And every man that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we are incorruptible. Right? I'm going to look up the word temperate again. Due to the last lesson, says to be self-controlled, content. Right? To exhibit self-governance, conduct oneself temperately. Right? So that's the whole purpose of it, yo. To exercise control over our flesh. Right? The root word going the third one says mastering, controlling, curbing, restraining, controlling oneself, temperate, content. Right? And me when I read this article earlier where I show you say virtuously to be self-controlled, or from a virtuous standpoint, is when I do it you get to the point where you're glad to do it. Like we're glad for bring out the judgments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua without emotion and all of that. And you tell yourself to be content now is like you do it because you do it and put it over your pleasure. So in a sense, being content is you be content to move towards being virtuous. So like now it's kind of hard when you fight the spirit between the battle of the spirit and the flesh. That is being content where after curb the desires, right? But which all of them lust, the lust we try to curb are evil lust, right? Like covetousness, envy, and them thing there. But after a while, in the kingdom of heaven, you're not tempted at anything there. You're just glad when you're perfect, you're just glad for doing them things there. You're glad to bring out the judgment, and you're now gonna have them. The feeling when I do judgment, it now become like say, it's a fight or a struggle between the body and the flesh for the righteousness, and that's what we are trying to obtain, right? So with that, hope your brothers were edified. I'd like to say, Kalalal Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and Rabbanas to the apostles of breaking the stone, and shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways doing this work in our sincerity and truth. We just click to the next route of that route. So like your brothers, it says Karatos, right? And the third definition says dominion, right? A mighty deed, a work of power, right? So force, strength. So as we say, we just try to obtain or work towards having strength over the spirit, over our body, to the spirit and power of the Yahweh Hashem Shai. So with that, I hope the brothers were edified. Once more, I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Shai, and love, honor to the apostle of great stone, and shalom to the brothers and others, and why we say this working out sincerity and truth. Shalom.